Alright, welcome back to More Than PG's Gaming. I'm your host, Mune, and today we're actually going to be doing a tutorial on the Caverns of, I always forget what it's called, Karrundax. Karrundax. Alright, requires you to have a party of 3 people that are level 54 and above. Alright, we already meet those requirements, and in fact we have all people who are above 3,000. In addition, we have Mono today with us, and he has his own gaming channel, so if you get a chance, check the description and go check it out. I thank him so much for joining us today, because without him we couldn't do this. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Caverns and Karrundax? Karrundax? Yeah. And we're just going to run through it, quick tutorial, and hopefully find all the secrets and shortcuts. Truth be told, this dungeon is pretty straightforward, and if you really wanted to, it will be fairly easy, you know? You can run past most of the enemies, and you can even ride your mount. It's one of the few dungeons where you can ride your mount pretty much through the entire thing. You don't have to fight any of the enemies, like I said. As you see, many people in the group are actually running past them without really wanting to fight them, but eventually you have to fight a few of them to proceed, because there are doors and the like. So be aware that that is a thing. Okay, so door opened up, rush right in. Somebody asked me what my YouTube was. Alright, I'll get to that in a moment. And here's a pack. You don't necessarily have to take it. It has a greater potion of accuracy. Again, we're just going to run through this. He asked me a question, I'll answer it when I really get a chance. So, just kind of have to run up to these things and break the seals. One quick note, if for whatever reason you cannot interact with those, you might have to leave the dungeon and retry, because sometimes that happens, or kill a bunch of other enemies in the area. Both do work. With this boss, I highly recommend having a closer DPS, and a tank would be fun to use. I'm using a tank. Remember, I'm over 3,000. I barely do any damage. The enemies in this dungeon are a little bit stronger because of the level requirement, and the sheer lack of firepower in it. So, that's how you lower the walkway, as soon as everything's defeated, which they're not. Alright. They asked me what my YouTube was. I'm gonna go ahead and mark them down. More than PGs. Gaming. Again, they jumped on their mounts and have taken off. You can do the same thing. There are a few different secret areas in this map, though, in this event. But I'm just gonna rush with them for a moment. There's some treasure here and there, but nothing too much. So, you notice that there are enemies here just standing around. It's because they ran past them. Let's see, where are they? They just kind of wrapped around. So you get all the way up to the top here, and you cross. You notice how there's a Yeah, they're speedrunning it. They shouldn't be speedrunning because I want to go a little bit slower. But because of the way that some people play, they just want to rush through all the content. Um, Mono, slow down. That's all I have to say to that. Okay, so there's one secret hidden trove down here. You don't necessarily have to go for it. There's treasure and the like. A few treasure chests and a walkway back up. So that was the first bit of treasure, secret stuff. A lot of people miss it when they run through these areas. The second stash is coming up here. It's right down here off to the left. And you need to use a, I believe it's a dungeoneering skill kit. You open it and there's treasure behind the rock. Nothing too extravagant. Again, this is not a epic level dungeon or the like, and most epic level dungeons have side chests like this. They're still not worth opening. But if you're of level, then no problem. You'll see that they're fighting quite a few enemies over here. There's a religion kit over here in the corner, and a nature kit up here in the form of an egg. Again, more enemies are following. You don't necessarily have to fight them. You can just run ahead. This is how you run through it really quickly. It's you ignore all the side paths. You just go in for the kill. Don't stop for anything, and if you have a legendary mount, it would be even better. But again, the same setup, pretty much. If you're willing to kill everything, as a Oathbone Paladin would be do the same thing as always, which is have Smite, Templar's Wrath, and Burning Light. Though you may want to start switching up your stuff right about now, because, well, things are getting harder and your party needs to be stronger. So you have to focus on survivability and the ability to kill things quickly. And just focusing on damage output as a tank could cause an issue, or as a heal-it-in. So just keep that in mind. You might want to start bringing in DPS friends to take care of some of the stuff. This area is pretty much straightforward. There isn't really anything special. No real big secrets. It's so straightforward, it's kind of embarrassing. The enemies are here. They don't really do anything. You walk up to the nest, and you kill off all the enemies before you can proceed. Okay? This dungeon in particular is infamous for farming dragons for your 1000 Dragons trophy. The way that you would do it is you would go in, you would kill the first two, what is it, they call it, wyverlings, and then you would just press start, go over to I am stuck, and then defeat me. And you'll respawn out here, and you have to fight the wyverlings all over again. And they count as dragons. The wyverlings count as dragons, so you don't have to really worry about not getting your trophy. If you're going to do that, I recommend that you don't have immunity to injuries, or you're keeping track some other way. The reason why I say immunity to injuries is because when you defeat yourself, you get an injury. And if you use an injury kit, hey, you know how many times you've been injured. And how many times you've died. So you kind of have an idea of how to count. I got my trophy here for 1,000 dragons a little while back. Um, Embarrassingly, it was around 200 to 250 wyvernlings that I needed to kill. Or dragons. Okay, in this boss battle, it's good to use supported stuff, and you can't necessarily kill the dragon in one go. It likes to flee in the middle of battle. You'll notice that I stopped dealing damage. I don't know anybody who's actually been able to kill said dragon without it flying up. So if you are one of those people who have managed to kill this dragon in, you know, one go, yeah, go ahead and comment in the comment section, because I'm curious if that's even possible. Another quick note is this dragon is very much like the dragon in Lost except for that it attacks totally different. It's very much a different experience. Now, if you want a more challenging dragon than this guy, you're probably going to have to face off against a area dragon, cult dragon, like the ones found in Neverdeath, Wrath Valley, Icespire Peak, Whispering Caverns. Or you're going to have to face up against either Lostmouth himself or something else. But yeah, that's Caverns of Karrundax. Karrundax, sorry. Pretty much in a nutshell, we hit all the good points, but it'll take some time before these are actually uploaded, unfortunately. But hopefully that was useful. If you really want an easy time running through there, just call out for some level 70s. Or you could possibly pug it, but most people don't pug most of these dungeons except for like Cloak Tower, simply because they want something super easy, pretty straightforward. So you're probably gonna have to try to form a party. Let's see what else we got up our sleeve.